My beloved child, let your heart become still and listen as I teach you something important in this season. You may love people. You may be grateful for those I place beside you. You may cherish the hands that once lifted you up. But do not place all your safety in them, not because they are not precious, and not because you must live in suspicion or close yourself off, but because every person carries limitations within them. The one who loves you today may still be weary tomorrow. The one who once spoke tender words to you may still have moments when they speak carelessly. The one who once promised to stay beside you may still grow weak, lose direction, or lack the strength to keep what they have said. My child, if you build your inner world upon the consistency of human beings, then only one wind of disappointment can make you tremble. But if you lay your foundation in me, you will learn how to love others without losing your peace, how to trust without becoming blind, how to open your heart while still knowing who your true refuge is. I am not calling you into a life that is cold, distant, or suspicious of everyone. On the contrary, I want you to love with a pure, generous, and mature heart. But mature love does not turn a human being into the throne within your heart. Only I can sit in that place without wounding you. When you place someone in the position that belongs only to me, you unknowingly give them a burden they cannot carry. You expect them to always understand correctly, always speak rightly, always be present at the right time, always respond in a way that makes you feel secure. But human beings were not created to become your absolute source of life. They may be a gift, a companion, a word of encouragement, a supporting arm for one part of the journey, but they cannot be the eternal rock. When you understand this, your heart will demand less, despair less, and know how to love others with greater freedom. There are wounds within you that did not come from enemies, but from those you once trusted. There are words that seemed unintentional, yet touched a hidden place and left you aching quietly. There are silences that made you wonder whether you still mattered. There were times when you offered trust with all sincerity and received indifference, broken promises, or betrayal in return. I have seen it all. My beloved child, I do not treat lightly the tears you hid behind your smile. I do not overlook the nights when you asked yourself why that person did such a thing to you. But I also do not want that wound to become a prison that holds you in bitterness. I want you to learn this wisdom. People may disappoint you, but that disappointment must not be allowed to define your worth. Others may fail to keep what they promised, but that does not make my promise any less steadfast. Remember the story of David when he had to flee from Saul. David had once served in the palace, played the harp to soothe the king's unrest, fought for the people, and carried no rebellious heart. Yet the very place that seemed to offer recognition became a place of danger. Saul, the one who should have protected and guided him, sought many times to harm David because of jealousy and fear of losing power. Look carefully at this. David did not allow injustice to turn him into a man of blind revenge. He had the opportunity to harm Saul, yet he still chose to fear me more than to act out of his pain. Why could he stand firm in the midst of such betrayal? Because he learned to place his safety in me, not in the throne of man. The cave, the wilderness, the dark night, and the life of running could not take away what I had placed upon David's life. When others misunderstand you, abandon you, or treat you unfairly, remember that I can still preserve you in the wilderness. And what I have ordained for you is not canceled simply because someone fails to treat you rightly. Therefore, do not let your heart be pulled back and forth by the changes of people. Today they may praise you, tomorrow they may doubt you. Today they may be close, tomorrow they may grow distant. Today they may understand you, Tomorrow they may misinterpret even the goodness within you. If you live by their approval, you will always be weary. If you breathe according to their reactions, you will never truly rest. But when you know that I am the one who sees you most clearly, you will no longer have to beg people to confirm your worth. I know your motives. I know what you have tried to do. I know even the things you cannot put into words. And I am not careless with your heart. No feeling of yours is small before me. No pain of yours is treated by me as something passing and insignificant. My beloved child, I am the safe place to which you can always return. When relationships exhaust you, run to me before you conclude that you are not worthy of love. When someone disappoints you, place that pain in my hands before you let it become a wall, separating you from the good things ahead. When human promises shatter, remember that my faithfulness is not shaken by their weakness. I do not love you by season. I do not draw near to you according to passing emotion. I do not change my mind about you simply because you have a day when you are weak, slow to move, or confused. My love is not a flickering lamp before the wind. It is a steady light shining through even the nights when you thought you had been forgotten. Placing your trust in me does not mean you will never trust anyone again. It means you understand the right order of your heart. You may trust others with wisdom, but you give absolute surrender only to me. You may love deeply, but you do not allow anyone to replace my place. You may forgive, but you may also set boundaries. You may open your heart, but you do not need to abandon discernment. I do not want you to be naive before the weakness of this world. Nor do I want you to become so bitter that you can no longer recognize the good people I send to you. I want you to mature, gentle, yet not easily crushed, kind, yet not without wisdom, able to give, yet never forgetting to return to the source of my peace. When storms arise and the things you once leaned upon begin to shake, you will clearly see what the true foundation is. There are relationships that need to be purified. There are expectations that need to be laid down. There are quiet idols in your heart that need to be removed, not so that you will lose, but so that you may be free. I am the rock that does not crack beneath your feet. I am the refuge that does not close its doors when you are in need. I am the fortress that cannot be pierced by human judgment, abandonnement, or broken promises. When you anchor your heart in me, you may hurt, but you will not be destroyed. You may be disappointed, but you will not despair. You may weep, but still carry hope. You may lose a few people, but you will not lose yourself. So bring the wounded places to me. Bring the fear of betrayal, the exhaustion of having to guess what others mean, the sadness of having once been overlooked, and even the longing for someone to remain sincerely. I do not rebuke you for desiring to be loved. I myself placed within you the capacity to love and to be loved. But I want to heal the way you search for safety, so that you no longer cling to people as though they were the final source of your life. When you know you are kept by me, you will no longer cling to what I am separating from you. When you know I do not leave, you will no longer collapse because someone walks away. When you know I am faithful, you will no longer allow the inconsistency of others to rule the rhythm of your heart. My beloved child, be still and listen to what I am speaking to you in this moment. You have never gone so far that my love cannot find you. You may have walked through seasons of confusion. You may have chosen paths that made your heart heavy. You may have turned your face many times from my gentle calling, but my arms have never closed against you. I do not stand before you as a cold judge waiting only to recount your mistakes. I stand before you as the father who watches day and night toward the distant road, longing to see the outline of his child returning. My love does not change according to your moods, does not fade because of your weaknesses, and does not withdraw when you stumble. Before you knew how to seek me, I already loved you. Before you had the courage to say, yes. I had already prepared grace to welcome you home. There are things you thought had taken away your right to draw near to me. There are memories that made you lower your head, choices that made you blame yourself, words, actions, and seasons when you lived as though you could no longer hear my voice. But my child, do not let shame build a false wall between you and me. Shame will say that you are no longer worthy. But I say that you are still my beloved child. Fear will whisper that I have grown tired of you. But I say that my mercy is still new for you. The past will try to bind you in the darkness of what has gone by. But I call you to step out, not through punishment, but through healing light. As soon as you turn back, as soon as you open your heart, as soon as you stop running from my love, you will realize that I have been nearer than you thought. Understand that returning does not begin with you making yourself perfect. It begins with an honest response. One small but sincere yes can open an entirely new season in your life. You do not need to bring a beautiful report to prove that you have corrected yourself well enough. You do not need to wait until every stain of the past has been wiped away by your own hands before daring to come near me. I am the one who cleanses. I am the one who lifts up. I am the one who clothes the humble, returning one in a new garment. Your part is to bow your head. Cease being hard-hearted, and allow me to do what your own strength cannot do. When you say yes to me, heaven does not turn away. Heaven rejoices because a heart has found its way back to the source of life. Do you remember the prodigal son in the old story? He left his father's house, wasted his portion, passed through days of freedom that seemed bright, but in the end found himself empty in a faraway place. When he came to his senses, what he thought of was not a throne, not honor, but only the chance to return as a hired servant. He imagined that his father would be standing there with disappointment, with painful questions, with the coldness deserved by one who had left. But when the father saw the outline of his child from far away, he ran to him. He did not wait for the son to crawl all the way to the doorway in humiliation. He did not begin with reproach. He embraced him, covered him with a new robe, gave him a ring, put sandals on his feet, and opened a feast of joy. My beloved child, I want you to see that image with your heart. That is, how my heart leans toward the one who knows how to return. I do not rejoice when you suffer in distance. I rejoice when you allow love to bring you home. Therefore, do not let what you have done become your name. You are not your failure. You are not your season of wandering. You are not the nights when you were weak, nor the times when you could not keep your promise. I call you by a name deeper than every mark of the past. You are the one I love. When I look at you, I do not only see where you fell, I see where I will lift you to stand again. I do not only see broken pieces, I see the new vessel I will shape again with holy patience. I do not only see the days when you wandered far away, I see the moment when you are returning. And that moment is more precious before me than all your words of self-condemnation. My child, I know you have feared many times that there is some boundary which, once crossed, would mean you could no longer be received. But my love is not like the fragile love of humankind. Not loving and then growing weary. Not drawing near and then leaving. Not promising and then forgetting. I am holy. But my holiness is not meant to push you into despair. It is meant to draw you out of the things that are causing you to wither. I am merciful, but my mercy does not nourish darkness. It frees you from that darkness. When you come to me in truth, I do not hide what needs to be healed. But neither do I crush you with old sin. I lead you through repentance so your heart may become light, through truth so you may become free, through grace so you may rise with a new step. Today, I speak to you with a love higher than the heavens and wider than the earth. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid, for I am here. Do not be afraid, for my calling is not meant to make you tremble in distance, but to help you find refuge in me. Do not be afraid, for my hand is not stretched out to push you down, but to lift you up. Do not be afraid, for my angels are being sent to guard you on the paths I allow you to walk. There are dangers you did not see that I have held back. There were traps you almost fell into that I quietly pulled you away from. There were moments when you thought you were alone in the deep night, but I had commanded protection to surround you like a wall of light your eyes had not yet recognized. From now on, walk as one covered by grace, not as one driven away from the Father's house. Learn to trust in the love that does not abandon you, even when your emotions still tremble. Let my word be stronger than the accusing voice within you. Let my presence be greater than the noise of the past. When you wake in the morning, remind your heart that I am still near. When you face an old temptation, call upon me. Do not fight alone in isolation. When you happen to be weak, do not run farther away. Turn back immediately. For I do not want you to sink into the spiral of self-blame. A child who knows how to run back to the Father after stumbling will learn how to stand more firmly through every season. My beloved child, your name has not been forgotten in heaven. I have remembered you not with fading ink, not with a fragile promise, but with a love that has decided to hold you. The image of you engraved on my hands is a reminder that you are not a passing thought to me. I carry you in my care, in my plan, in my tireless mercy. Whatever valley you walk through, whatever crossroads you stand before, whatever burden is weighing down your heart, know that I am still calling you with a gentle voice. Return to me, my child, for in me there is life, forgiveness, peace, and a new beginning no longer ruled by the past. So open your heart, my beloved child. Do not stand outside the door simply because you fear you are no longer invited in. My door is still open. My table is still prepared. A new robe is still ready for the one who knows how to return. I do not tell you to forget everything in a single day, but I will walk with you through every layer of healing. I do not tell you to change yourself by your own strength, but I will place within you the strength to choose the light. I do not tell you to walk without ever stumbling, but I promise to uphold you with my faithfulness. Say yes to me today, not out of fear, but out of faith. Let me hold you again in unfading love. Step into my grace, for I am here. I have always waited for you, and I will never reject a heart that sincerely returns. My beloved child, in this moment, let every noisy sound around you become quiet, and let the worries crowding your heart be laid down beneath my light. There is a word I want you not only to hear with your ears, but to receive with deep trust. I am always with you. This is not a sentence meant to give temporary comfort, nor a vague promise reserved only for beautiful days. It is the truth that sustains you in the dark night, the fire that does not go out in the cold wind, the anchor that keeps you steady when the waves of life rise fiercely. Therefore, boldly declare by faith, the Lord is always with me. Say it not as someone trying to convince yourself, but as someone standing upon the firm rock of my love. When you speak those words, do not think you are merely releasing sound. Every declaration born of faith is like a door opening for peace to enter. The fears that once tried to take over your mind must step back when you remember that you have not been abandoned. The shadows that once made you think you were lost no longer have the right to guide you, because my presence is covering every step you take. I am not near you only when you pray fervently, not beside you only when you are strong and clear-minded, but right there with you when you are trembling, confused, weary, and do not yet know which path to choose. I do not wait for you to become perfect before drawing near. I draw near so you may be rebuilt in love. There are days when you look around and feel as though you are walking through a strange land. The decisions before you weigh heavily on your heart. The plans within you remain unfinished, and the dreams you cherish are sometimes tested by delay and silence. But, my beloved child, I want you to understand that the silence of your circumstances does not mean I am absent. Sometimes I do not shake the heavens in the way you expect, but I am quietly arranging beneath the surface, opening a way where you have not yet seen one, and preserving the things you thought had gone beyond your reach. You do not need to see the whole road in order to trust that I am leading you, as long as you know I am with you. Even each small step can become a holy step. Remember the story of Joshua when he stood before the Jordan River and the promised land still lay on the other side. Before him was the water that separated them. Behind him was a great people waiting, and within his heart there must have been pressures not everyone could see. Moses, the great leader before him, had passed away. An old season had closed, and a new responsibility had been placed upon Joshua's shoulders. But I did not tell him to be courageous because he was strong enough in himself. I reminded him to be strong because I was with him. My presence itself is the source of courage, not reputation, experience, or human ability. And when the priests placed their feet into the water, the way opened. Do you see? Many doors do not open before you believe. They open when you step forward in the promise that I am with you. In the same way, my child, there are rivers in your life that will not part while you remain forever, standing on the bank because of fear. There are things I have prepared for you that will require a step of faith, a declaration full of trust, a quiet agreement in your heart that says, even though I do not know everything, I still believe you will not leave me. I do not demand that you understand every detail. I only invite you to take my hand. When you enter a difficult conversation, I am with you. When you make an important decision, I am with you. When you begin again after a season of disappointment, I am with you. When you protect your peace with wise boundaries, I am with you. When you dare to hope one more time, I am with you also. So do not allow the voices of doubt to have greater authority within you than my word. Doubt will say that you are alone, but I say you are kept. Fear will say that you are not strong enough, but I say my grace is sufficient for your journey. The past will try to remind you of the times you stumbled, but I remind you that those moments have not diminished. My love, people may only see the outside of you, your successes, your shortcomings, the things you have done or have not yet done, but I see the hidden battles, the silent tears, the wordless prayers, and even the small dreams you still guard in the midst of many trials. I do not treat lightly anything that belongs to you. My beloved child, the declaration, "The Lord is always with me," is not only for peaceful mornings, but also for heavy evenings. Speak those words, even when your heart feels nothing, because faith does not always begin with radiant emotion. Many times faith begins when you choose to stand on the side of my truth, even while your feelings still tremble within. Speak those words when you step out of the house, when you sit alone in a quiet room, when you stand before a new choice, when you remember something that makes your heart ache. Each time you declare this, you are reminding yourself that your life is not drifting without direction. My hand is upholding you. My eyes are watching over you. My love is covering you with unchanging faithfulness. I want you to live as one who knows you are accompanied by the one who never grows weary. Do not walk as someone forgotten. Do not make decisions as though you must hold up the whole sky by yourself. Do not nurture your dreams with anxiety, but place them in my hands with pure trust. The dreams I sow within you do not need to be protected by tension. They need to be nourished by obedience. patience, and peace. If something comes from me, I will know how to preserve it, shape it, open the way for it, and make it bear fruit at the proper time. Your part is to remain near me. Listen to me. Follow me. And let the promise of my presence become the breath within each day. There will come a time when you look back and realize that I was there far more than you ever imagined. I was in the meeting that seemed accidental. I was in the delay that saved you from the wrong road. I was in the encouragement that came at the exact moment you wanted to give up. I was in the small peace that appeared in the middle of a pressured day. I was in the closed door, and I was also in the door that opened. I was in the great things, but I was also gently present in the very small things. A ray of sunlight on the table, a lighter breath after you prayed, a deep sleep after many restless nights, a sudden courage rising within you when you thought you had no strength left. Therefore, lift up your head. Let that declaration become the quiet song that accompanies you through every season. The Lord is always with me. There is no place you can step into where my love cannot reach. There is no decision you place in my hands that I will treat carelessly. There is no dream sown by me that I am not powerful enough to care for. I was with you yesterday in all that you overcame. I am with you today in what you are facing, and I will be with you tomorrow in the things you cannot yet imagine. Be at peace. My beloved child, you are not walking alone. You are being guided, protected, upheld, and loved in my presence that never departs. From now on, learn to walk with me in a different rhythm. Do not only ask yourself what you must do next, ask what is drawing you away from my peace. Do not only pay attention to who needs you, notice whether you are still remaining under my care. Do not only look at the list of unfinished tasks, look at my hand open before you, inviting you to lay down each burden. There are things you thought you had to hold by yourself, but in truth, I am powerful enough to hold them for you. There are people you thought would fall if you did not save them, but I am the Savior, not you. You can love without controlling, serve without destroying yourself, be present without losing peace, give without forgetting to return to my source. My beloved child, I do not want you to live as one who merely survives each day through strained effort. I want you to blossom. I want you to wake with spaciousness in your heart, to work without being driven by fear, to love without being bound by false guilt, to rest without condemning yourself. When you place me at the center, everything else will find its proper place again. Responsibility will no longer be a chain, but an assignment upheld by grace. Service will no longer be a flow that drains you dry, but a fragrance released from a life being cared for. The boundaries you set in wisdom will not make love smaller. They will make love more enduring, pure, and true. Let me teach you the art of pausing. Pause to hear the birds in the morning, to sense my hand in the small things, to realize that you do not need to race against anyone. Pause to know that you are still loved even when you have not completed everything today. Pause to understand that your worth is not found in productivity, not in the approval of others, not in how much you can carry, but in the love I placed upon you before you even knew how to name yourself. You are my child before you are anyone's servant. You are loved before you do anything worthy of praise. You are embraced before you are strong enough to stand. So return, my beloved child. Return to the holy order, where I am the source, and you are the one nourished by that source. Return to the truth that rest is also part of faith, that peace is also a testimony, and that caring for what I have entrusted within you is also an act of loving reverence toward me. Lay down the haste. Lay down the fear of disappointing others. Lay down the voice that tells you to always be available even when you are weary inside. I do not leave you when you rest. I do not love you less when you slow down. In that quiet place, I will renew your strength, soften the places that have become dry and hard, rekindle the joy that has grown dim, and prepare you for the road ahead, not with pressure, but with grace. You are not falling behind. I am leading you into depth. You are not losing time. You are being restored so you can walk more steadily. And when you rise again, you will not rise by the old strain, but by the gentle peace of one who knows they are loved, kept, and guided by me step by step.